right, YouTube viewers, if I sound like I have a frog in my throat, that's because I do. I think I got some of the Sussex County crud. Here's an update on the Bobcat M610. Got my floor pans done, got the foot controls in there, and have the front plate here. I got my control panels put back together, and kind of shine the gauges up and everything. So here's my my lead. I redid the lead for this, and also over here I went ahead and I bought a new lead for here as well. So I got all new wiring on it. I do have the other half of that harness over on the workbench. That will be attached to the Wisconsin motor. Down inside here, you'll see that I have painted my hydraulic lines, and I also made a wooden block for my hydraulic lines to be held by. The old one is over here on the workbench. I'll show you that when we go over there. So not a whole lot of progress on this, and the main reason that we don't have a whole lot of progress done on this, I'm currently waiting for my valve assembly, the hydraulic valve assembly, to come back from the hydraulic shop. I'm having it totally rebuilt, so we're waiting on that. Once I get that back, then I can go ahead and get my hydraulic lines hooked up, and then I'll take you over to the workbench and I'll show you some of the other hydraulic lines that I have up on the workbench that need to get cleaned up. But primarily the reason that we haven't been doing a whole lot of work is because we picked up this. Pop-Up Gringo is not here right now, but Pop-Up Gringo purchased this tractor. So we were trying to get it up and running, and we did so. Currently the starter is out at the shop, getting some new brushes put into it, and also we're going to be putting a new 6-volt battery in here. So we have a couple things to do here. We did have it running. We bump started it, pulling it behind a four-wheeler. The hydraulics work, everything works on it. So that's our next project. Once we get the Bobcat M610 done, we'll be moving on to the Farmall Cub, and probably doing about the same thing to this as I did to that. So I still have a big pile over here. This is stuff that still has to be worked on, painted, and cleaned up. The main part of that whole thing right there is that motor. And now we'll walk over here to the workbench. I'll show you what I have up on the workbench. So basically these are the hydraulic lines. And as you can see, I'll try to get a close up here, they are just full of crud. So the first step is to get all that hydraulic oil and all that crud off of them, get all of the lines flushed out, and then prime them and paint them. This is an air intake for the carburetor. It had some paint on it and looked pretty bad, so I went ahead and sanded that up, and that looks pretty good now as well. Over here we have the other half of the wiring harness, and that'll be attached to the Wisconsin motor, and that will plug into the harness that's coming off of that control panel. And then this is the plate that the hydraulic valves are going to mount to. This was the only piece that was on the side of the Bobcat that should have been holding the hydraulic lines. So what I did was I went out and got a piece of wood that I had for my firewood. I brought it in, cut it with a chainsaw, ripped it down with a circular saw, stained it, and I wasn't happy with the stain. It didn't really absorb real good, so I went ahead and put a torch on it and kind of burnt it. So that is a direct replacement for what was in there. This thing here only had one half, and it was cracked up pretty good. So it sounds like I'm about ready to lose my voice. I'll leave it at that. But this is the Bobcat update, as well as the introduction of the International Cub with a snow blade. So we'll be updating you as we go. Thank you.
you like what you see, be sure to click on the box for Hillbilly Deluxe, because Hillbilly Deluxe is a subsidiary of Redneck Manufacturing. We do a lot of crazy things. Subscribe. Subscribe now.